For your warm-up today, you'll need the number line from page 301 to plot your points. You can change them into decimals if that's easier. I'm looking at 1/5. 1/5 is 2/10 or 0.2. And it appears that this is broken into tenths. So 1, 2 would be the location of 1/5 on the number line. So we're going to play games with spinners today. It says each player chooses a color shown on the spinner. The person whose last name comes last alphabetically picks first. So if your last name starts with a Z, you would go before somebody whose last name starts with a G. Players cannot both pick the same color. So you and your partner have to have different colors. Players take turns spinning a spinner, and the person whose last name comes last alphabetically spins first. Players record a tally for the color on which the arrow lands for each spin. If the arrow lands on one player's color 10 times, they are the winner and the game is over. Do you think that both players will have an equally likely chance of winning? If you look at spinner A, the red and green both take up the same amount of space in the spinner. But in spinner B, the green takes up more space than the red. Who do you think is more likely to win? The person who chooses green or the person who chooses red? So with your partner, you're going to play the game 3 times using a different spinner for each game and recording your results in the tables. Remember, the person whose last name comes last alphabetically chooses first. You must take turns spinning, and the person whose last name comes first spins first. You're going to record your tally for the color in the table. If the arrow lands on one player's color 10 times, they are the winner and the game is over. So for this one, I will be player 1 and you will be player 2. So we're going to start. I am going to choose red and you get green. I guess I could make them match. So we're going to spin this spinner, and whoever's it lands on 10 times first wins. That's a point for me. And a point for you. And me. And red again. Green is your point. Red is for me. And me again. And red. And green. Green again. Red. Green. Green. And red. So since I have 10, that means I win this first game. I'm going to choose first again. This time I'm choosing green. So you get red. Since I reached 10 first again, that means I win. And the green is the winner. This time I'm selecting red. Not agreed. Green. And red wins. Place a mark on each scale to show how likely it is that each spinner will land on green. Well, since the only color in here is green, we are going to say that that is certain. It must land on green. In this one, there is no green, so it is impossible that this spinner will land on green. This one is half red and half green, so that is right in the middle. This one is the majority is green and the small piece of red. If we broke this up into fourths, we could say 3/4 are covered by green, and 3/4 or 3/4 is 0.75. So we want to be 3/4 of the way to 1. For this one, the green is a small section, so it's less than half. Write the letters of each event in the correct location on the probability scale. Explain your reasoning. You will see a live mammoth on the way home from school today. Well, mammoths are extinct, so that is impossible. A solid brick of gold sinks after it is dropped in water. Yes, solid gold will sink. That is certain. A round disc with one red side and one yellow side will land on yellow when flipped. Well, half of it is yellow and half of it is red, so that is right in the middle. Don't forget, it does ask us to explain our reasoning. So I've just written a quick sentence describing what we discussed. A spinner with 4 equal parts, red, green, blue, and yellow, will land on yellow in the next spin. Well, there are 4 equal parts, so it would be 1/4, which is unlikely. A bag containing 26 letter tiles, each with a different letter of the alphabet. The next letter tile pulled from the bag will be a consonant. Well, there are more consonants than vowels in the alphabet, so that is likely. A bag has 5 blue cubes and 5 red cubes. A cube randomly pulled from the bag will be red. Well, there are the same amount of each, so that should be right here in the middle. They are equally likely to occur. Tomorrow, the temperature at your home will be negative 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Unless some catastrophic event occurs, that is a temperature that's not possible on Earth. So the odds of that happening are very slim, nearly impossible. The only time that may occur is if there was some kind of major Earth catastrophe. Now we need an explanation for each of these. Complete the following table. Provide an example of an event for each probability and explain your reasoning. impossible. So let's see, what if you had a bag full of jelly beans? And you pull out a Snickers. The reason this is impossible is because there are no Snickers in the bag. Something that is unlikely happens less than half of the time. So you roll a number cube and it lands on a 6. So one of the numbers on the number cube is a 6 out of the 6 sides. 1/6 is greater than 0, and it is less than 1/2. Equally likely, you flip a coin and it lands on tails. Landing on tails is equally likely as landing on heads. Events that are likely to occur have a probability that is greater than 1/2 but less than 1. This might be something like pulling a blue bean from a bag with 12 blue and 1 red. Because there's 13 in there, so the possibility of getting blue is 12 out of 13. That is less than 1, but it is also more than 1/2. There are more blue than red, so it is likely. Certain is something that is going to occur all of the time. So it might be something like selecting a Skittle from a bag containing only Skittles. There are no other candies in there, so the only possible option is to pull a Skittle. That is the introduction into probability for Module 6. We'll talk more about probability and statistics in the upcoming lessons.